Welcome back. This is Billy with Coach Dooley's List. And once again, if you are enjoying these videos, then please like and subscribe to the YouTube page and also follow along on all of our social media platforms. Hey, today I'm here at Mount Pisgah Christian School with the head wrestling coach, Josh Mary. And Coach, I appreciate you reaching out, and I'm excited to talk today.
So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Good. And listen, I really cool. I won't steal your thunder, but walking up, you've got a lot of wrestling accolades on the wall here in the gym, and I said, hey, how long you been here? And you started the program, so just kind of tell everybody about your coaching journey and how you ended up here.
Well, so I'm from Hall County. I went to North Hall High School, and I got fortunate enough. I had a little scholarship, went off to college for a few years, wrestled 4 years, and then I had a grad assistantship down in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
And I was like, I got to stay in wrestling. I love it. I got to keep giving back. So I started officiating, and also I got on with Benedictine.
Okay.
So I was down there for 2 years with them. I graduated. So I moved back home, which was in Gainesville, Georgia. And Riverside Military Academy. Coach Biso was always hitting me up in high school. He was a great mentor. He's like, hey, I want you to come and coach with me. I want you to come. And unfortunately, where I went to high school, I wasn't really motivated very much to go there. So I was like, hey, let's give it a shot. I can go work for a Hall of Fame coach. And I was there 5 years with him. Awesome. Great opportunity to learn so much from him. Great mentor. And my old AD gave me a call, and he's like, hey, do you want to start a program here at Mount Pisgah? And, young, dumb, energetic. I'm like, hey, why not? How many times you get that opportunity?
Sometimes that's how they get you, young and dumb.
I found that out, sir. I found that out. So 15 years ago, they gave me a call, and I've been here ever since.
That's awesome.
So, and it's been great. I've had a lot of great mentors. At North Hall, I was fortunate enough. Coach Paul White, again, Hall of Fame coach. I got to learn from him. Some other coaches, Benedictine, and amazing coaches. And even my college coach, I got to learn a lot of the pros and cons of what to do and not to do to help run a program. So
I think more coaches say what they learn is the what not to do's, and some too. I've had a lot lately say you need to find those out on your own sometimes. You can hear the stories from people, but and I hear this a lot too. A lot of coaches who were able to last a long time, they have great mentors. They were able to coach underneath some great people. So coaching under, as you said, a couple of Hall of Fame coaches and having good mentors. When you started the program as a young and still learning, coach, what was it, you wanted to build your program around? And even moving forward, I know those things change too. So what do you want your program now to be known for at Mount Pisgah?
Oh, my word. That's a hard question. And just, our kids, they want to wrestle. We're for the sport. We love the sport. We're going to get after it. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do. We're going to get after it. If we've got to go wrestle Camden County, we're going to go wrestle Camden. If we got to go wrestle some private schools in Atlanta, we're going to do it. We don't care who they are. We're going to strap up. We're going to wrestle. We might not be able to win, but our kids are going to give 100% no matter what on the mat. That's what we want to be known for. A lot of people don't know that we started from scratch. One of the things I really learned as a young coach is we had an area and we were Commerce back in their heyday when they were dominating. They had 14 kids in the finals one year. Unbelievable.
That is great.
And all I was doing was fighting to get a state qualifier.
Yeah.
And so, again, that mentorship, learning a lot from Coach Love. And I was like, man, I want a program like that. And so I learned a lot from what he did. And so that's how we try to trickle things in here. The youth program is a big thing. We don't have a youth program. We have a middle school program. It starts in 5th grade. So I was like, hey, we got to start those kids up in the 5th grade. And that way we keep them all through. And, hey, if they like it, they love it, hey, we're going to find some other people we know to get them training year round. Morris Fitness is a great place. We send our kids over there to help train because we don't have a wrestling room here.
Right.
And people don't know that. So, during the summer, I don't get the gym because you've got basketball, you got football and volleyball.
Oh, yeah.
So where are we training at? Where the guys getting reps in? So, I know that was a long answer, but basically, hey, we're a hard team. We're going to get after it no matter what. We've had a lot of success. We've had a lot of downs, but our kids are going to come ready to wrestle anytime they toe that line.
Well, I love too, like you talked about the youth program, because everybody wants to have something beforehand. You get your kids involved in that kind of stuff. But you were telling me, I didn't realize this. Y'all said y'all are baby through senior. You get them on the mat at 2 years old across the street.
We can, but again, that was one of the we talked earlier about the flaws of learning. One of our biggest mistakes is we tried to do a youth program, and we were dying. Our coaches were, because we only had 3 of us. I had 3 myself and 2 other coaches, and and they're still with me to this date. And so we would do a high school practice, a middle school practice, and then a youth practice. So we were here till 8:00 at night, and it just wasn't worth it. So we're like, you know what? Since our 5th graders can basically be in middle school, we're just going to really start hard in 5th grade here. And if we had some parents that were interested in wrestling that were younger, then that's when we'd send them off to, one of the academies or somewhere and saying, hey, I'm sorry. We don't have the time and energy. And plus the facilities. Yep. Again, with us not having a room, we get a room for a certain amount of spot. We were in a cafeteria. Right. So that's all we had it for. So,
I've been to some schools, like I said, that you walk in and you go, the first thing, why are the wrestling mats right there? And then you go where they let you go. And that's what's really cool too, because I think it gives your kids a different mentality as well about, getting after it. But, so starting the program here, or even going back to, one of your days as an assistant, I know you've got a lot of stories, so what's one of your favorite wrestling stories or coaching stories in general?
I could tell you a lot.
Tell them all.
I've got a few really good ones, and one happened years ago. We qualified for state duels. Mm-hmm. I think it was in 19. First year we ever did qualify for state duels. We were high. We were on cloud 9, and we took 2nd out of the region behind Westland. And I'm like, awesome. We're gonna go. We get not a great seed. We get beat pretty bad by a good Turner County team, and we're in the wrestlebacks, and we've got some really good kids, and all of a sudden we're like, hey, we're gonna win this duel. We're gonna make it to the semis, the console semis, and have a shot. And our heavyweight is winning. He gets taken down last second. I was like, oh my gosh. So then we go to overtime. I was like, okay, hey, don't get pinned. We still got the points. We're still going to be good. He gets pinned. Not only does he get pinned, then he decides to chunk his headgear in the stands. So then we get a team point taken away on top of that. And I'm not saying some very nice things to my assistant coach, because I'm like, get that kid out of here so he doesn't get more team points taken away. Oh. And I'm like, we're done. There's no mathematically. I was like, there's no way we could win. And we got this one kid, our last match. I was like, he's got a pin, 1st-year guy. He's actually coming to help me coach this year, so it's awesome. And he goes out there. They shake hands, and both of them basically do like this. And we're like, oh my gosh, we got a chance. We got a chance. And we have to pin to win. And he does. He finds a way, pins it, and we're all running on the mat. Like, I've got kids, you can see it on the video from Georgia High School. All our kids basically go charge the mat and jump on them. It is phenomenal. The ref is hitting us for unsportsmanlike. I'm like, I don't care. Whatever. And that was only to make it to the Conso semis. So it wasn't even a medal round. I mean, it was just our kids were so excited because it was like, hey, we made it. We made the scene. We made something big. And the ref came up after. He's like, man, I didn't know that was to clinch the duel. I wouldn't have hit you. I was like, it's fine. It doesn't matter. And come to find out, the next round we wrestled Westland, who beat us in the area finals the week before, and we actually upset them, beat them. So we ended up finishing 4th. So we brought home our first trophy.
When you got to start somewhere, and that excitement is, gives confidence. It's like you said, you go and lose to somebody, and then you turn around and beat them because of one pin. So that's really, really cool. Yeah. Was. You talk about, you've had a couple of assistants, you've got another one that's coming here, to work with you, this year. So, if any of those guys or any former wrestlers or anybody came and said, Coach Mary, I want to be a head coach one day, what advice would you give them?
So to add to that, so this year alone, I'll have 3 coaches that were under me at Mount Pisgah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's great. I got two guys that help. Basically, they were on the first team with us, and they've been with me a few years now.
Mm.
And then this guy, he's coming, and so I'll have three assistants this year that were on our team. So we've been very blessed.
Yeah.
To answer your question, to be a head coach, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. I was young and I was dumb. So I'm like, at Riverside, we were very competitive. We won 5 Geesa state championships. We were undefeated. So we were pretty good. We were very competitive. And I know it's Geesa, but still we had guys that could compete. We went to South Carolina and we'd go to the tournaments there and we'd win those pretty handily. And so my first year here, I'm like, hey, let's do it. Let's rock it. So I'm doing a schedule thinking we're going to be great. I pick up Cass for their senior night. What am I thinking? And it hurt our program badly.
Really?
Because our kids got beat up pretty bad. Because again, I'm young and I'm dumb. So those first 2 years, we struggled, and our numbers took a bad hit. And it was because the kids were just getting beat down. And again, this is such a hard sport. If your kids are just getting beat down, what's the point of coming out again? If there's no light at the end of the tunnel, what's the purpose?
Right.
And so that year, me being young and dumb, I had to learn a lot, take some advice from some coaches, a lot of good conversations. I was like, hey, we got to start this over, reset button. And we started again. My philosophy was, hey, we got to build the middle school and we got to get them to come through. And, we struggled. We had, for about 2 years, I had about 3 or 4 kids on the high school team. But again, middle school, we had 30 plus kids.
Right.
It helps I'm the dean of the middle school. I can get those kids out there.
Yeah.
But, we had 30 kids. So I was like, hey, as long as we keep up, we're going to get those kids that trickle into the high school and that are going to have 4 or 5 years of experience when they get to the high school. So that helped. So a lot of, the biggest thing would be take your time. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
So, and also, some other things like anybody would tell you, great support. Mm-hmm. Even though we don't have a wrestling room, admin's very supportive of us. The parents are awesome. I mean, our parents will basically do anything for us. And then, your kids. Basically, you got to have your kids bought in somehow. Everybody's like, oh, it's easy for you. Y'all won some state titles. You compete every year. Yes, but you still got to get the kids that aren't that level yet. You still got to have some kind of incentive for the kid that might not ever be on that varsity lineup. Right. You got to find a way to, got to get them motivated somehow. And, as a coach, you've got to learn how to motivate those young, especially today. It's hard to motivate the young kids to stay with a sport like wrestling because it's hard.
Oh yeah, and I think too, it's one. I think we talked before we started rolling with, wrestling's not a sport that's on TV. Kids don't see it, and I've talked to other high school, even at 6 and 7A schools, where like they just grab kids out of the hallway and like, hey, you look like you might be good at this, and give it a shot, because it's not like baseball where you turn on TV, it's always on. Soccer, football, basketball, those things. I don't remember the last time I saw something wrestling on. Aside from
that
Hulk Hogan.
You are 100% right.
That. So, no, but I think too, you said something real important, especially for young coaches, is it takes time. Everybody wants things now. I was actually, my interview before I got over here was talking to a soccer coach about, everybody wants things so quickly. And if you don't see results in 6 months, it's like, oh, I can't do this, or I need to go somewhere else. And that's not the case. You got to be willing to buy in as yourself as a coach as well, to get others to do it. So, so kudos to you for sticking around through the tough times so you can get all the names on the wall there.
And that's I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's the biggest thing is people just see, hey, y'all have been great. And I'm like, it took us some time. I mean, we went through a grind. I mean, like I said, we had some years where I would show up to tournaments and have 3 kids in the high school. That's it. And we're going to be there. We're going to be there. And I remember we had the first state championship class. They were all 7th graders. And I remember those years. And I kept telling the coaches, just give me 2 years. Just wait 2 years. They're like, you're not going to make it 2 years. It's wrestling. I'll be here as long as I want. And sure enough, when they were 8th graders, just wait. Next year, we'll be here. They came on as freshmen, and everybody's like, dang, you weren't kidding. I was like, just wait, because we got a backflow of other middle schoolers coming up.
Yeah.
So, but again, it took time, the patience.
No, that's cool. And, kind of going into the last question, you go back to, talk about trying to build stuff. Your AD comes and says, hey, what do you need to build a program? I know the big expense always for wrestling is mats.
It is.
Then you get the uniforms and everything. So, the big idea with Coach Dooley's list is trying to connect coaches with vendors. And that's not always just uniforms and mats. That could be technology, could be, fundraising, anything that y'all do, for your program. So who's a company that you've loved to work with that you would shout out to other coaches?
Oh my goodness. So we're a little particular because we're a BSN school.
Right.
So that, first priority is BSN, but
Right.
we actually work with the girl, oh my word, and I'm so bad with names, but she's in Chattanooga.
Okay.
And she was friends with our ex-volleyball coach. She went on to bigger and better things now. And they turn around stuff within 2-3 weeks for us. And they're phenomenal. But they don't do certain things for us because we have to use BSN.
Right.
So the things that BSN can't do, we use her, and she's awesome. And also FootJoy. I know FootJoy is golf, but FootJoy, we started using a lot of our coaching stuff for FootJoy because I'm a golf coach too. And they do some phenomenal, nice stuff.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So, but again, we're private school, so we're a little different when it comes to those things. But I'm always willing and open as long as somehow we can go through BSN.
Oh yeah, no, and like you said, there are times when they can get things on time, and there's other times and you got to use somebody else. So no, I love, and nobody's ever thrown out FootJoy before, so I'll definitely get them added to the website too. But
their polos are slick.
I literally sat behind a guy in church the other day, and I kept going because I didn't realize what the logo was, the little FJ on the back, and I was like, I like that shirt. And he turned around, I was like, oh yeah. So no, that's good stuff. Well, Coach, listen, man, I appreciate what you're doing for your school and your kids, and taking the time to meet with me today. And best of luck this season.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out here. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.